It's, my name is Derek A. Butts. I am the president and co-founder of Prostate Cancer Awareness Alliance, DMV, and we are a nonprofit located in the District of Columbia, but we support Maryland and Virginia. And our focus has really been to really kind of become more informative and create a greater awareness for prostate cancer, prostate health, and really look at the alliances in the area, such as the Howard University Hospital Cancer Center, GW, MedStar, Inova, and really kind of help men connect with those entities to provide them with support if they should be diagnosed with prostate cancer.
Oh, wow. That is absolutely phenomenal. We know that prostate cancer plagues the African-American, plague every ethnicity, but particularly African-American seems to continually have some of the highest rates of incidence and mortality.
Absolutely.
So thank you.
Yeah, absolutely. Thank you.
I was just going to say thank you for the work that you are doing. Now, share a little bit about you as a father. What is the if you could share with us one of your, I would say, primary attributes that you feel you give as a father?
Well, I have two young men, 27 and 30, and I'll be coming on later on. But as they've graduated from college and it's throughout their life, it's really kind of being there for them and helping them and giving them the direction and guidance and allow them to stand on their own 2 feet. I think that's important to nurture them and understand, give them a good foundation, spiritually, mentally, and physically, that they understand where they are in life and how to pursue life moving forward. And that's one of the things that I'm proud of is the two accomplished, graduated, went from Virginia Tech and went from George Mason. Both of them were NCAA ranked divers when they were in college. And just give them the freedom to say, you know, if you put your mind to it, you can do it. And anything that you want to achieve, it can be done. So by doing that, they've been able to flourish, as everybody's kind of had hit through COVID, but they've been able to sustain.
All right. Well, I tell you, that is absolutely phenomenal. Our fathers are not celebrated enough, and kudos and shout outs to my dad, who still farms and help other people in farming in South Carolina. But we're going to move right along to Mr. Daryl Jordan, who was so gracious as well to share this hour on this big day, this Father's Day with us. Welcome to the show, Mr. Jordan.
Thank you, Dr. Pearson. And let me first thank you for inviting me to participate today. And also, I'd like to say Happy Father's Day to the other panelists and to all of the fathers. I'm Daryl Jordan. I am I'm a partner in the law firm Jordan Guyton LLP, and we service, we focus our practice in helping small and minority businesses. About a year ago, I was contacted by Derek and William Carl Battle, who I believe will be on the program momentarily. William Carl and I go way back to high school. We were high school classmates and teammates on the football and basketball teams in Rocky Mount, North Carolina. But they asked me if I would mind assisting or joining the Prostate Cancer Awareness Alliance and to assist them, and particularly with getting the message out in Virginia. So I'm very happy to be a part of that. We're talking about fathers, and you asked what are the attributes of a good father. And I know it is Father's Day, but I think I just need to point out that it's easier being a good father when you have a great mother partner. And so I'd like to give a shout out to my wife, Paula, who's been a great companion and helping to raise our 3 daughters. I'm a dad with all girls. I'm a dad who, when my wife was pregnant the first time, I was hoping for a big strapping boy to play ball with, and I got a daughter. And then I got a second daughter. And I will tell you, the third time my wife became pregnant, I was hoping for another daughter because I said, I just about got this daughter thing kind of figured out a little bit. And if I have a son now, I'm not sure what I do. And so the Lord blessed me with the third daughter. My oldest daughter is Samantha. She was a Division I athlete, basketball scholarship at Lafayette College, graduated Phi Beta Kappa with a degree in economics and went on to the Harvard Kennedy School. And she's now works for the State Department as a Foreign Services officer. My middle daughter, Ryan, was a Division I basketball player, a scholarship player at Hampton University, my alma mater. And I'm very proud of her. My other two daughters thinks now that that I favor her because she went to my alma mater. I don't, but but I'm happy she went. I also get it from my wife because my wife is a graduate of Spelman College and none of our daughters attended Spelman. Ryan now works for Vice Media in Los Angeles, California. My third daughter, my youngest daughter, is Sydney, and Sydney is a Phi Beta Kappa graduate from Princeton, where she was also captain of the girls basketball team there, went to several NCAA tournaments. Sydney is now just finished her first year of law school at Stanford. I have been extraordinarily blessed.
Wow. Those of you who are just joining the show, we are Third Sunday Tea Talk Show where we educate, advocate, and celebrate. And this is truly a celebration on today. We are celebrating fathers and giving fathers an opportunity and a platform to brag on their kids. Because I tell you, when fathers talk about their kids, they just light up. And children are so very grateful when fathers are present and they are there and they can see their children when they are shining. I mean, it just does a body good when that happens. So we are celebrating our fathers, making tributes to our fathers. And we have another featured guest on today, Mr. William Battle. Mr. William Battle, can you come off mute? And what the conversation has been so far is just introducing yourself and sharing attributes of you as a father.
Well, thank you, Dr. Pearson, and hello, Mrs. Carolyn Saint. How are you? I, like Daryl Jordan, my homeboy and colleague there, and Brother Daryl Butts, I thank you very kindly from my heart for allowing me on your show. You have been a pillar in the community with your show, so I just want to congratulate you on that. And by the same token, happy Father's Day to my colleagues and co-founders of the Prostate Cancer Awareness Alliance, DMV. Pleasure to be on panel with you guys. But I'm just so thankful for what God has allowed me to be a part of with my children. A great group of girls, or shall I say, middle-aged young men and women that are well into their careers, and as being well into their careers, they're well into their own incomes, so that's less hands in my pocket, and so I'm certainly thankful for that. But it's been a joy, I must say, to see my children, grow and to have matured into their careers, college graduates, North Carolina A&T. My daughter Tracy just completed her master's degree a couple of years ago, and she's actually working in, she taught in the Mecklenburg school systems in Charlotte, North Carolina for a couple of years. Now she's in Louisiana and about to make another transition. And we're just keeping our hands crossed and together, because we know that she has some She has some outstanding things that she will be engaging in shortly. My sons, of course, University of Maryland graduates and Morehouse graduates, and these guys are just absolutely just doing a great job, careers. One is Terrence, a graduate at Morehouse, and I call him a real estate mongrel because this guy in Atlanta, he's buying up and selling properties all over the place, man, and doing a great job of what he's doing. He's a commercial real estate guy, and he properties, I believe Pittsburgh, definitely Atlanta, and I think now he's going to buy some properties, I believe, down in Mobile, Alabama, to do some real estate developing down there. And my younger twin Terrell, he's a University of Maryland graduate, living down in California. And you guys may have seen this guy. He was on a television series a year or so ago. It was called Superior Donuts. And so he has his career going forward with him in the movie industry. And of course, my baby girl, Courtney, she's in the Baltimore area, and she's doing work at a college. She just recently graduated from a university in Knoxville with a master's degree. And my oldest son, Quantel, he's doing well in Columbia, Maryland. He's working IT, I believe, with the Department of Social Security. So it's just a blessing to see them to grow into adulthood and to be really focused about what it's all about. I think Derek, and I'll piggyback off Derek, he said something earlier, the blessing is just being able to provide a foundation and guidance. And it's just awesome to see them in lieu of all the things that they are surrounded by. It's just awesome to see them make good decision makers, critical thinkers in terms of making the right decisions, moving forward in their careers, and being prosperous. And one of the things I always share with the kids, sometimes they'll call me, and my sons, they always say, "What's going on, Pops?" I say, "Hey, man, I'm just doing what I'm supposed to be doing while I'm here." And so my message to them is to always to keep your feet fitted to the ground and be focused about why you're here, and never no matter how you get there, always be willing to look back and help somebody, because that's what it's all about. I believe that we all have a ministry of service, and that we should be at some point in your life, in contact with why you're here, a purpose of your life, why you're here, and be willing to be of service to some degree.
Wow. That's
Amen,
a lot.
Brother
Thank
Battle.
you so much, Mr. Battle. Just very inspiring words from all three of our featured guests. And I just want to pose a question for you all to chime in and guide us through this dialogue. And for those of you who are just joining us, thank you for joining Third Sunday Tea Talk Show. It's a talk show where we educate, advocate, and we celebrate. And today we are celebrating fathers, particularly Black fathers. That's who we have on our panel, and I'm proud of Black fathers. They're resilient men, and I'm excited to be a daughter of a Black man. So I want the conversation to just shift a little bit in reference to, as Black fathers, with all the negative things that our society has portrayed, share some of the things that have allowed you to persevere and be resilient as great fathers. Well,
if you guys don't mind, I'll go ahead and share a little bit. Is that okay with you, Daryl?
Absolutely,
yeah.
Brother Battle.
I think, and I apologize, I'm on my cell phone, and to me, I look a little dark here in this thing. I'm not quite sure how I'm coming out on the other end, but certainly, I think for me, I really had to come to the realization of my belief that God is in control of everything, and with that being in the forefront of my mind, I'm able to see things and process things and seeing not from my perspective, but from God's perspective. And when I understand His way of doing things, it's less cumbersome, less bothersome, but it allows me to rest and feel that relief that He's in control, whatever situation. It's just incumbent upon me to be able to recognize, what is being presented before me and make the decision in terms of move forward. But But when you rest and you believe in that, you have a purpose-filled life, they're just things that can be out there that can be distractors that you pay no attention, but you move forward in terms of achieving what God has you here for. So there's certainly there's been times and there's been challenges and there's been ups and downs, but my beliefs in terms of who God is in our life and how He's directed my life, that keeps me grounded. And when I see things from that perspective, that kind of paints a different kind of picture for me. I'm not doing things based on my own, but I'm doing things based on the will of God, and so that's kind of my direction.
Okay.
Yeah, if I may add to that, in growing up, our kids grew up in the church. So to mention that the foundation of spiritually, mentally, and physically, it was important to give them that guidance and the foundation to establish a support system or something to grow up within. And giving them a sense of purpose, I think it also is being involved in the church programs like a rites of passage and whatnot. We're helping develop young men mentally and physically and spiritually, help them understand their foundation and their purpose in life. It was important for them to kind of grasp what's important and what's my duty of giving back. And that's just the thing, the stewardship piece of it, and giving back. But also find out what's your purpose in life. So as they went to school for one thing and now they're doing acting as a career. So that's one of the things, that's something they gravitated to, but they have that foundation with their education, but also even to get to that point, understanding you're always going to be judged just because of who you are and what you look like, and try to get beyond that, because that's important to understand that, you're not going to have the same opportunities afforded to you. You might have to work a little bit harder, but at the same time, know that you can get anything that you want if you put your mind to it and you work towards it. So giving them a sense of accomplishment and a sense of ability, I think was important when they're looking at all the different, let's call it roadblocks or challenges they may have growing up in life. And it was important also as we participated in a lot of the Black Lives Matter movements last year with George Floyd, and they participated in that and understanding the meaning as far as moving forward. And now to see and celebrate Juneteenth yesterday was absolutely amazing accomplishment for the national or the country now to recognize that this should be a national holiday. So taking that in stride, looking at, we're still making headway. We're still not where we need to be, but at the same time, things are moving forward, and we just have to understand what that really means.
Dr. Pearson, there appears to be a sort of central theme building here concerning a God-centered life. I did not grow up with my father, but I had a praying mother and a praying grandmother who both tried to steer me in the right direction. And what I saw from both of them were people of just high integrity, people who work very, very hard. And I say that, and I'm probably not alone in saying this, but I grew up seeing my grandmother with several jobs, working as a domestic outside of the house, as a cook outside of the house, and then having her own little sewing business in the house. I watched my mom work several jobs as I was growing up. And so, and there were a number of times as I was growing up where things could have gone left. When you're young, and I tell my girls this, and particularly boys, we're stupid. Many times we do really reckless things. And so there were times when things could have gone left. And I remember that there was always something in the back of my mind, I think that allowed me to put the brakes on when I would think, well, what would my mom think if she were looking at me now? And I think in some cases that saved me. And these kinds of things that I wanted to pass down to my daughters, as well as being present. We did, and We laugh about them now. We did a lot of things together as the kids were growing up. I've heard people state that one of the things that helps in a family dynamic and raising children are times spent together, like times eating together. And we ate together quite a bit. And so you have conversations during those times. They all played, a lot of travel sports. And when they're young, so they're like 5 people in one car traveling sometimes for, 6, 8 hours, sometimes 12, 13 hours. And you're trying to conserve them on funds. So 5 people staying in one hotel room over a period of several days. So, you get to spend time with the family and with my daughters, and treasure that time. And I know they have memories of it because when they're home, we laugh about some of those trips and times that we spent together.
Wow. So the central theme is that God is at the center of it all. And that's why the Black man is so resilient. I love it. I love it. I would just also say, while you all were talking, it reminded me of dreaming. And it appears that you all have taught your children how to dream. All of them are grown. They are successful in the areas that they choose to be in dreaming. And I know we didn't have much coming up. And I don't know if you all remember the Sears and Roebuck catalog, but it was a big catalog. There wasn't even a Sears. I don't know if there was a Sears. It might have been in one of the larger cities, but being on a farm in a rural area, we didn't have a Sears. If there was a Sears, it was probably 2 or 3 hours away. And we never went there. But my father would get the Sears and Roebuck catalog, and he would just say, you can have anything in that book. And it was just the most exciting thing, to go and circle all the different things in the book. And we didn't get the stuff out of that book, but as I learned, it was a way of him aspiring us to dream. And we could have all of those things if we worked hard, if we continued to do well in school. We could have our dreams. And it seems as though you all have, maybe for a lack of better term, but have inspired your children to dream. How have you transferred the element of dreaming in their success?
Oh, I'll start. As we began, I mentioned my wife, and my wife gave our daughters a gift when they were very young. And I think it has inspired them throughout their lives. And that gift was a gift of the loving to read. Mm-hmm. And they started at a very young age. And my wife reads a lot. They started reading at a very young age and really began to love reading. I mean, they at a point where, they would be consuming several books a week. They loved it that much. And that inspired them. Certainly it helped them, in their academic careers. But that's also where, dreams are fomented, and reading about, science fiction and other places. And so they had dreams through, their love of reading.
Mm-hmm. Mr. Butts?
So, absolutely. So one of the things when my kids were younger was instilling them in the fact of to not fear anything. Mm-hmm. Growing up, it was one of those things, when they would fall, get up, brush yourself off, try it again, keep going. And I think learning to do that at an earlier age gave them the unlimited boundaries to pursue those things that they wanted to do. And they didn't have to worry about, can I do that? They said, well, if I work hard enough, I should be able to do that. So motivating them and helping them to understand anything you put your effort to, it will work and it will come back to you. And I share the example of my son's an actor now. When he was a freshman in high school, he wanted to get into the theater. And it was one of those things, living in Silver Spring at the time, and he had an audition in Baltimore. And he went up there, we drove up there, and I was like, that's a long drive, especially during rush hour. Well, long story short, 5 minutes after we left, the director called him, he got the part.
Wow.
I was like, man, what are we gonna do? So that's a long commute 3 times a week. So I said, look, you've got diving in your blood, you're a diver. I said, why don't you pursue diving now? It may lead to a scholarship, which it did. And I said, you can always go back to acting. So you never forget it. My son, his junior year at Virginia Tech, he was averaging 3.6 GPA. He pulled us just before Christmas and said, Mom and Dad, I just want to let you know, when I graduate, I do not want to be a financier. I want to be an actor. And I said, well, you're in school, you're killing it, you're making the grades. And he said, remember that time when I was a freshman? I said, yeah, we didn't forget. He didn't forget either. So I said, this is my passion, I want to pursue. So he did everything that we asked of him to do, and he did it very well. So when he graduated in 2015, he came home. He was home 2 months. He went to an acting workshop in New York City in August of 2015. And then in September, he was moving up to Brooklyn. So needless to say, long story short, he's made his debut. He's been on a few things. Even when he was in school, he did some NCAA commercials. So he's pursued his dream, but he didn't have the fear, but he had the confidence knowing that we instilled in him, you can do anything you put your mind to. With him, it took a little bit longer, but he never forgot that. And he said, I always appreciate the fact you never killed my dreams. You always encouraged me to pursue those things that I wanted to do. Even though it might be a different route, said I wanted to go straight. You told me to take kind of a detour, but at the end of the day, I got there. And I think hearing that come back from your son, it just kind of makes me feel good, the fact that, he was able to do something he wanted to do, but my wife and I presented that foundation for him to succeed. So I'm grateful, working with the Elements and helping them to navigate. Both of my sons are amazing and talented. So I'm greatly appreciative of what they've accomplished today.
Wow. A tribute to fathers. This is why we have to celebrate and hold our fathers to high esteem. Mr. Battle, what is your take on inspiring your children to dream? You're on mute. You need to unmute. Thank you.
I'm sorry. I want to digress. I want to go back to something that Daryl said earlier, because, we've been alive, probably most of our lives. We went to the same schools, and we were exposed to positive Black men in our schools. With his dad. My dad was there, but there was a certain portion of dad that was not there. And so, as a young kid, going through school, we saw these positive role models. We kind of cling to these people. Daryl, I'm talking about Mr. Daisy, yeah. Mr. C.C. Davis and Bosco Bass and all those guys, man, they were positive figures. So I know at an early age, I began to see things about these guys that were very positive things. But there were also things that in my family environment that I didn't want to be a part of that I experienced. And so as a father, I began to see, certain behaviors. And one day, my son, Terrence, he was in high school, and he said, Dad, he said, I can't talk to you because you got all the answers, you know everything. And so I really had to stop and think about what he was saying and really process that and reevaluate some things, with my son. And I realized that, you have really got to listen to what they're saying, and hear what they're saying so that they feel that what they have to say count. And so that just made me, sit back and just listen to what they say, give positive feedback, not necessarily, try the control thing at all times, but listen to what they're saying, allow them to free associate, allow them to express themselves, positive feedback. And in doing so through the years, we just had beautiful relationships, because I think the greatest thing was not being afraid to look within myself and realize I had to make some adjustments as a father. Listen to your kids, even though they're at their age, give them the opportunity to express themselves and let them feel like they're being heard. Let them feel as if it counts. Because when you do that, you allow that child to really open up and you develop those relationships. Because the last thing that I wanted to do was not have a relationship with my son. I did not want to lose my son because, you know, I was caught up with some ways of thinking that was in my environment, but the willingness to open up, to look at myself and realize my son just said something that was tremendously profound. Dad, I can't talk to you because you know everything. That was time for me to really step back and take a look at myself and make some adjustments in terms of who I was as a father, and to listen to those kids and allow them to know that they count, to give positive feedback. And we develop conversations to build that. And, you know, we talk, I talk with my daughter practically every day. You know, every day we talk, and she is doing so well, as is the other kids. But they're young adults now. Listen to what they have to say, allow them to share what they have to say. And it's just an awesome experience. It's awesome.
Wow, that is truly amazing. And as we provide these tributes to our fathers on today, and having an opportunity to listen to fathers who have gone from the baby all the way up to adult, is just truly an amazing experience, and dropping knowledge on the individuals who are here on this platform with us. So we thank you all for just coming and being with us. Those of you who may be just joining Third Sunday Tea Talk Show, this is a talk show where we educate, advocate, and celebrate. And we are celebrating fathers on today. And we are so grateful for our featured guests, Mr. Derek Butts, Mr. Daryl Jordan, and Mr. William Battle, who have shared some amazing stories of their experiences as fathers, as well as doting on their children, which we absolutely love. We're going to shift just a minute because we have tributes to fathers. And when the show starts, those of you who spend your time with us on other Third Sundays, you know that I have a co-host. And she is one of the most amazing co-hosts that anyone can find out there. And not only is she a dynamic co-host, she is my blood relative,
Amen.
Evangelist Carolyn
Amen.
Lassane.
Amen.
She
Amen.
works behind the scene, and she is going to kick off our tributes to our fathers on today.
Amen. Amen. To God be the glory. Again, happy Father's Day to all of the fathers that are on our Zoom and on Facebook. We're on Facebook Live, and just excited to be here. I've put it in the chat, and we wanted to share this, that we have a gift, a small token of gift for all of the fathers. But it is an actual gift. It's not something we can email. So we need your actual mailing address. So don't put it in the chat to everyone. Just send it to either myself or Dr. Akita. But all of the fathers, we want to just appreciate you. And as Dr. Akita said, just to love on you just a little bit more, and to let you know that we are proud to have all these amazing Black men as fathers. Amen. And my tribute, my dad was the best dad in the world. I know every woman says that, but my dad, my father, Lonnie Lassane Sr., was the absolute best father on the planet. Amen. Yes, he was. And just the one thing that I remember the most about my dad is that we could always go home. He always made sure that there was love, and that he always made sure that we knew no matter what happened, the door is always open and you can always come home. And I always appreciated that. My parents were amazingly loving parents. I shared just a little bit ago, I have a podcast that I do as well, and I shared on my podcast. My mom passed away when I was 19. And at that time, my parents had been married almost 40 years already. And I was 19 when my mom passed away. And that was the first time at that hospital when the doctors told us, it was myself and two of my sisters and my brother was there, and my father was crying. And that was the first time when I got to the hospital, because I didn't know what was happening. And when I got to the hospital, my father couldn't even talk to me because he was crying. And I was like, what is going on? Because no one had really told me yet what was going on. And my dad was crying. And then the doctor came, they took us in this room, and the doctor came out and he said that my mother had passed away. And we were all in shock because my mom was like our rock. She was like, you know how all those movies, Big Mama's house? My mama was the big mama, and our house was the big mama's house, and everybody came to our house. And it was every weekend, every Friday, every Saturday, every Sunday, we were always together. It was really, really crazy because families don't do that anymore. I mean, it was Friday night, fish, Saturday night, crabs, Sunday night, 3 o'clock, we was eating dinner. We was always together. So anyway, when we were leaving the hospital, my dad called me baby. And everybody, I always tease, I said, most of my relatives, they ain't know my name because they always said, that's Lonnie and Theo's baby. So they just called me the baby. They're like, that's the baby, that's the baby. And when we were walking out of the door, and I mean, again, we were all distraught. We really were, because it was sudden, we didn't know, and she wasn't ill or anything. And my dad took my hand and he said, baby, I got you. And my father held to that word until he took his last breath, even to the point where when he was passing and I was at the hospital and not wanting to leave, he sent me away because I guess he knew it would have been too hard for me to be there when he passed away. And so he made sure I was in good hands. He made sure I was with my apostolic father, my godfather. And that's what a father does. They not only take care of you in life, but even he wanted to make sure that I was okay, that everything, I mean, we had the will in order, had the paperwork in order, had everything in order so that there was no confusion, there was no drama with our family, everything was in order. And that's what a father does. So I loved my dad. It'll be 18 years this year, November 19th. And to this, there's not a day that goes by that I don't think about my daddy, Lonnie Lassane Sr., and just grateful for the love that was instilled in me by my parents. And they say, and it's funny because I say Happy Daddy's Day because anybody can be a father, but it takes something to be a daddy. That means you got love, patience, time, and a whole lot of other stuff going on. So happy Daddy's Day again to all of you all. And God bless. I've enjoyed the stories and the inspirations that you all have instilled in the stories that you shared. And I believe that we have some other family guests that wanted to give some shout outs to some fathers that are on the line. So you all, I was muting people when they were unmuting because we just we're recording and we didn't want all of the other sounds coming in as people were talking. So, but please feel free to come in, turn on your cameras, unmute yourselves and give your shout outs to your daddies. Amen.
Or your husbands.
Or your husbands, that's true, I'm sorry.
Or your brother.
Amen, amen.
I see Diane Butts, and I'm thinking that she may be related somehow to Derek Butts.
I think I know him.
Is there a tribute or a shout out?
So in full disclosure, he didn't tell me much about this. So I wasn't sure what to expect. I thought we would be listening to or watching rather than participating. But since you asked, I'll give a shout out. I describe Derek as the very best part of me. He has been since the moment I met him. We've been through ups and downs like so many other couples, and we just thank God for everything. Happy to be here with you today. And yeah, I'm not exactly sure how the conversation has gone before now. He asked us to join about quarter of, and I thought I would just get on a few minutes early. So I think sorry, I'm turning the TV down. Hope I haven't missed everything. But yeah, I take my hat off to him and all dads and uncles and granddads and godfathers, brothers, all who've stepped in the gap. And just very grateful that my children have had such a wonderful dad to look up to. So yeah, I'll stop talking now. And I don't know if my children are on yet, but I'll give the floor to somebody else.
Okay. I'm looking through.
Hi, this
Yeah.
is Paula Jordan, Daryl Jordan's wife. And I just briefly wanted to let everybody know that I think that Daryl has done a fantastic job as a father. And not only as a dad, he's been a wonderful husband and friend, son, uncle. The list goes on in terms of all of the relationships that he has. But since we're honoring fathers today, I also just wanted to say Happy Father's Day to all the fathers that are on the Zoom call.
All right, we are
Thank you, Mrs.
here.
J.
Those of you who are just joining us, this is Third Sunday Tea Talk Show, where we educate, advocate, and we celebrate. And today, it is a celebration. We are celebrating fathers, and we have three amazing fathers that are our special guests, Mr. Derek Butts, Mr. Daryl Jordan, and Mr. William Battle. And I know that Mr. Battle's daughter was here a moment ago. So we're going to come back, but is there, oh, there she is. All right. Go ahead, Miss Battle Tracy, and give a tribute to your dad.
So to my father, the word that comes to mind is just peace. I know that throughout all of the challenges and trials and tribulations, it has not been easy dealing with me. I am, from what everyone tells me, exactly like you, right? And so with that being said, it can definitely be, we can definitely bump heads. But in that bumping heads, in that collision comes growth. And in that storm, there's always a sunny day. And so the tribute I say to you, and I tell you this every day I talk to you, but I love you. I appreciate you. I cherish you. And for me, I think as our relationship has grown as an adult, like as me being a woman, a young woman and growing in this world, your guidance, your sacrifice, your understanding, and one of the words you always say, I'm gonna be diplomatic about it, it has really, really resonated with me, not only to give those same, give that same to others. So give grace to others, help others, be of service. I heard you say earlier about being of service. And that's one thing that I truly believe that you have instilled in me, Terrence, Terrell, Quan, and Courtney, of make sure we are understanding our gifts, using our gifts to the ability of God will seek and God will be happy with. And I just remember us having conversations before, and just a quick conversation, a quick story that my dad, he probably already told you guys, I'm gonna say it again, but I remember when I was younger and I didn't have the passion yet. I couldn't find what was it for me. And I had a conversation with my dad and I was like, well, I didn't want to go on my future to go to school and go to college. And one of the things I told my dad was I wanted a government job, right? And I think that blew him away, right? That blew him away. And it was very hard for me to transition into school. But what I will say is having you by my side, having you just lead me in that direction. Not only did I was able to graduate from A&T. I was able to get my master's, and even now, very excited to continue that journey and getting my doctorate. But in those things, I think there's a lot of different things that you instilled in us as children. But I will say, as an adult, the seeds that you have planted, they are growing. And I'm so thankful and I'm so grateful and just blessed to have you in my life and where we are now, especially because I'm on my birthday vacation. I'm here with you. I'm here with you on my birthday vacation. But I just say this, I wanted to come back on and say, Daddy, I love you. I appreciate you. And this is just not goes for, I'm not just speaking for myself, but all of us, all of your clan. We appreciate you. We value you. And it's just so much more to come in our relationship. And I'm just so thankful for the relationship that we have as an adult, because you see me, you hear me. I feel valued. I feel worthy. And no other person or no other, even in my future life, in my children, in my husband, I seek those same qualities out for the people that I surround myself with. And I appreciate you for continuously holding strong. And I appreciate you for continuously showing me God. I really truly see God in you. And I'm just so thankful to even have the opportunity to say and be proud and saying, that's my daddy, that's my father.
Right.
And I'm just thankful.
Excellent. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. I tell you, what awesome tributes we are having at this particular time, celebrating fathers. Is there another, is that Derek? Derek Smith? Your
Hi.
dad?
My dad is Derek Butts.
Okay. Go ahead and talk about your dad. Give your dad a tribute.
First of all, hello. Happy Father's Day to everybody and all the fathers out there. Yeah, certainly want to give a shout out to my father. He's taught me a lot of things over the years that have stuck with me. So for that, I am eternally grateful. I guess one of the main things that has always stuck with me is the planning mentality. My dad has always been a planner. Like, this is how we need to plan things out. When we were doing work around the house growing up, fixing projects and things like that, he would say to me, measure twice and cut once. And he was like, speaking literally in the time, but I took that to mean take care in what you're doing. So you don't have to go back, so you don't have to backtrack, make a plan for what you're doing and watch that plan unfold. And I've translated that to many, many aspects of my life. I have absolutely become a planner, and I definitely know that I get that from my father. And yeah, I am, forever grateful for that. I would not be where I am without you. So yeah, thank you. I appreciate you.
Thanks,
I love you.
Derek.
And yeah.
What about Cal?
Hello. Yes, Derek Butts is also my father. Hello, everyone. Happy Father's Day. Yeah, my father is a role model, and has been forever, and I don't take that for granted. I know a lot of my friends don't have their fathers in their lives, since moving here to New York, and it's really shown me how important and how special that is, that I have someone like him in my life that I can call all the time and think about, like my brother said, the things that he instilled in us growing up. And it's beautiful to see and kind of funny to see in all the ways I am exactly like him, just in everyday life and how we, handle problems. And, he always has a level head under pressure. And probably one of the biggest things is he showed me how to treat a woman, treat a partner, how to care for someone, more than yourself. And, we all have, none of us are perfect, but that's a beautiful thing that I don't take for granted, is how he looks after my mother and, puts her before himself in a lot of ways. And it's a beautiful thing. So I'm grateful for you, Dad. Happy Father's Day. And yeah.
Thank you. Love you guys.
Happy Father's Day.
Wow,
Love you
look
too,
at
Diane.
these tributes. Look at these tributes. So we have a dear friend, and she's actually my sister, although we don't look alike. But you know what? We consider ourselves sisters ever since we met each other. And she has a tribute for her dad, and he's right there with Carol. Go ahead.
Thank you, Peter. That's right. I have my dad sitting right next to me, and his name is Gifford. And the thing is, when folks think about fathers, they think about, biological fathers. My biological father went on to be with the Lord in 1999, and I have my pops. I call him my pops. This is Gifford Allison, and this is my pops. And so he's been in my life since I was a teenager, since I was 14 years old, and I love him so much. And I am here in Florida. I left from Maryland last year to be near my parents and make sure that I'm here to do what God would have me to do, in ministering to my parents, and specifically to my father that God has given to me. So I wanted to make sure that I am here right next to him, loving him and loving my mother, but being what God has me to do is to love my father. And that is my tribute to him and to God, to be into honoring God and honoring my father.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much. Thank you.
Wonderful.
Okay, to all you fathers there. Okay, thank you, and God bless you.
Wonderful. On today, we are giving tributes to our fathers. We are so very grateful to have three amazing fathers featured on today. Mr. Derek Butts, Mr. Daryl Jordan, and Mr. William Battle. Our time is almost at an end, but we do not want to miss the opportunity for them to share final words. And because they are all doing things in the community, I know that they have some information that they would like to share with us in reference to some of the things they're doing professionally. So let's start with you, Mr. Butts.
Sure. Thank you again for the opportunity. This has been great. And again, happy Father's Day to those that are attending. We are, as for the Prostate Cancer Awareness Alliance, we just had an event yesterday, but we have another one coming up in September where we're trying to raise awareness for prostate cancer. It's going to be a prostate cancer bike event on September 25th, and it's going to be out of the Brandywine area. There's some information on our website, which is pcaadmv.org. I'll put that in the chat. We're still finalizing some permits and whatnot, but once we do, that will also be on the website once we get that in place. So if you can come out, as we're going to raise awareness, we're going to also have our partners and alliances with us, the hospitals, Howard University, Nova Health, MedStar, and some other hospitals in the area, especially Prince George's County, to be specific and talk about the services they can provide for men that may encounter prostate cancer or need prostate cancer support services. So hopefully we get some attendance out there for people to come on out.
All right, Mr. Jordan.
Thank you, Dr. Pearson. Again, thank you for inviting me to participate today. I wanted to echo something that William Battle stated, and so that Ms. Campbell. There are men in our communities who are not biological fathers, but they are role models. And William Battle mentioned this, and some of these men in our community who, where there are homes where young boys don't actually have biological fathers in the home, but these are men who are trying to do the right thing and who have special relationships with the young men who are growing up in the communities, and they are precious to our communities. And I'd like to shout out a tribute to those individuals as well.
All right. Okay, Mr. Battle.
Well, again, Dr. Pearson and Mr. Singh, thank you for this opportunity. I'm not sure if I shared or not, the president and founder of Emmanuel Health Education Incorporated. We provide an array of health messages for men with a specific focus on prostate cancer. We are so fortunate to be working in 2 states now, in Maryland and in North Carolina. I won't say much about the one in Maryland because my brother Derek has shared about the events that we got going on with PCA, DMV. However, in North Carolina, Emmanuel, in Rocky Mount, North Carolina, Emmanuel is focused on prostate cancer in an area that Daryl and I grew up in, Edgecombe County. It's about 100 counties in the state of North Carolina, and the county we grew up in has mostly the highest prostate cancer than any other county in the state of North Carolina, 42% versus the state at 23%. So what we're doing with some of the state senators on board, with some of the local hospitals, and the law enforcement offices down in this area, we are hosting an event on next Friday. Actually, it's June 25th. It's a film that we'll be showing. A very dear friend of mine wrote a film called The Black Walnut. He'll be in Rocky Mount. He'll be showing this film, and we'll have a panel discussion surrounded about that. So we'll have a urologist there on board and some other folks on board to be talking about this issue. And then on Saturday, we're having a bike ride that focuses on prostate cancer. And what I'm sharing with people, we have a number of people that have registered to sign up for this ride, but we want we want equally the number of men to be out getting screened for prostate cancer. So we're giving free screenings at this event. I believe that education and screening is in the driver's seat when it comes to this prostate cancer among African American men. So those are the things that we're doing. We're going to have an exciting time next weekend. My weeks have been busy since being down here, but the coming week is going to be extremely busy, bringing closure and preparing for this event to take place. So we're just so thankful to be servants.
Wow. Our time is up. We are here every third Sunday at 3 o'clock, where we educate, advocate, and we celebrate. We are so very grateful for all of you joining us here on this particular Sunday. Salute to all fathers out there, all the other men who have stood in the gap for fathers, uncles, nephews, cousins. We just celebrate fathers on today. And my co-host, Carolyn, thank you so much for guiding us through this process today with the technology and all the wonderful things you do. But we just want to continue to do what God has us to do in this particular ministry. So spread the word about Third Sunday Tea Talk Show. All of the videos that we do, everything is uploaded to our website. The website is exactly what it is. It's just Third Sunday Tea Talk Show. You can find us there. You can find us on Facebook. You can find us on YouTube. But please join us, spread the word. And to our fathers, we salute you on today. Thank you for joining us.
Thank you for having me.
Thank you. Happy Father's Day.
Happy Father's Day.
Happy Father's Day.
Happy Father's Day, DJ.
All right.
Happy Father's Day, everybody.
Okay.
All right.
Yes.
I'll see what you're doing, Derek.